Ivan Cleary on the Reece Walsh hype. What Penrith really thinks of the star. What if the most revealing verdict on Reece Walsh's brilliance never came from a Queenslander drunk on maroon, but from the one man whose silence carries more weight than any praise? Ivan Cleary, the stoic architect of Penrith's empire, speaking quietly after training about the fullback every defense in the country fears. It's a humid Thursday afternoon at Bluebet Stadium, late 2025. The mountains loom purple in the distance, cicadas screaming like they know secrets. Penrith are preparing for a finals rematch with Brisbane, and the media pack circles Ivan like sharks who finally smelled blood. They want controversy. They want the cold-blooded coach to dismiss the flashy kid from up north. Instead, they get something that feels almost sacred. Please like, share, and subscribe for more Sport Talk content. Ivan leans against the goalpost, cap low, voice barely above the wind. A journalist fires the loaded question. Reece Walsh is being called the best fullback in the world right now. How do you rate him? The pack expects a polite deflection. They get a pause so long you could hear hearts skip. Then Ivan looks up, eyes steady, and says 5 words that stop the NRL world cold. He's the hardest to plan for I've ever seen. No qualifier, no but, no coach speak. Just truth, delivered like a confession. The young reporter almost drops his microphone. Cameras zoom in on Ivan's face, searching for sarcasm and finding none. In the background, Nathan Cleary stops mid-stretch, a small smile tugging at the corner of his mouth, because even the prince knows when the king has spoken. That moment ripples outward like a stone dropped in still water. Within an hour, the clip is everywhere. Not sensationalized, not twisted, just Ivan Cleary, the man who turned down million-dollar offers to stay loyal, the man who preaches process over praise, handing Reece Walsh the highest compliment a rival has ever been given. Penrith fans, tribal to their marrow, don't riot. They nod slowly on social media. If Ivan says it, it's gospel. Broncos fans don't gloat. They weep quietly into their XXXX because validation from the mountain is rarer than a grand final win. The next day, training footage leaks from Red Hill. Reece watches the press conference on a tablet, headphones half on, eyes suddenly glassy. He doesn't speak. He just taps his heart twice, the way his grandfather taught him when words weren't enough. Back in Penrith, the Panthers defensive unit gathers in the video room. Ivan doesn't rant. He simply plays 10 minutes of Walsh footage in silence, the support lines, the second phase vision, the willingness to run into brick walls for his mates. When the lights come up, he says softly, "We don't hate him. We respect him, and respect makes you prepare harder than hate ever could." That single session changes the way Penrith train for a month. Tackle bags get renamed Reece. Sprint sessions become Walsh recovery runs. The mountain doesn't fear the storm. It studies it, reveres it, steels itself against it. This is what the hype cycle always misses. While commentators argue about meters and try assists, Ivan Cleary sees something deeper. A kid carrying an entire state's dreams on shoulders, still growing into the weight, yet never buckling. In a league obsessed with knocking tall poppies, Ivan chooses to water this one. Because he recognizes the same quiet fire he once saw in a teenage Nathan practicing goal kicks until the floodlights died. Greatness, he knows, doesn't need to be diminished in others to shine in your own house. The cultural resonance runs deeper than club rivalry. 2 proud rugby league heartlands, Western Sydney grit and Queensland passion, both built on working-class faith, both producing sons who play like the jersey is stitched to their soul. Ivan's words bridge that divide with a single sentence. It speaks volumes about the man himself. The coach who could have built a narrative of superiority instead chooses humility. In an era of hot takes, he offers a cold truth. The game is bigger than any one dynasty. This moment says everything about sportsmanship at its purest, the willingness to name brilliance in your enemy, because the enemy is only ever the opposition, never the game itself. It reminds us that legacy isn't just what you win, it's what you're willing to honor in others while you're still fighting them. Ivan will never shout it from rooftops. He doesn't need to. One sentence, delivered beside a goalpost on a quiet Thursday, travels further than any trophy. Later that week, Reece finally responds. Not on Instagram, not in a press conference. He sends a simple text to Nathan Cleary. "Tell your old man respect right back. See you in the finals, brother." Nathan shows his dad. Ivan smiles the smallest smile in rugby league history, and that is all the reply either side will ever need. In a private moment after the grand final, whichever way it falls, the two coaches will share a beer on an empty field. No cameras, no quotes, just two men who understand that the game only stays beautiful if its custodians keep passing the torch with grace. Years from now, when kids ask who validated Reece Walsh before the world was ready to, the answer won't be a loud Queensland voice. It will be a quiet one from the foot of the mountains. Because sometimes the greatest praise isn't screamed from the winning side. It's whispered from the opposition coach who knows exactly how hard it is to be that good and still finds the courage to say it out loud. That, more than any premiership, is what Ivan Cleary just added to his legacy. And that is why Rugby League, for all its thunder, still has a heart that beats gentle when it needs to.